As you may have heard, there's been a great invasion.
Keep your blades sharp and your minds sharper.
How do we know Kashu is infected with Tadpole?
I would be careful about their influence.
We must stop the infection from spreading.
Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is SlugBugBunny, Bunny for short, and I make LARP and medieval fantasy and crafting and stuff about Jesus all here on this corner of YouTube. And in this video, I am going to be talking about Frozen Odyssey. What is Frozen Odyssey, you may ask? Well, Frozen Odyssey is an event that happens every year and is kind of geared towards a little more questing and roleplay, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, and this year is my very first year going to Frozen Odyssey. I wanted to go last year, but there was some complications with the person I was going to be going with, and so, which was sad because the bugs looked so cool that year that they were selling for the event, but it's alright, I got to go this year. So I had all my stuff ready and packed at the door, and Ansel, one of our members, she came to pick me up, and we headed out all the way, the 3-4 hour drive all the way to Kenai. And then we finally got to the site, and it was just such a beautiful day. There was like not a cloud in the sky, and I set up my tent and all my things, and then I hung out for a little bit, and then me and Ansel decided to go exploring out a little bit. That. No door can stop me. There's a big fish up there. Oh, that is a very big stage.
This is not what I was expecting to see.
No, yeah. Oh my goodness.
A little friend bug. We're awfully cute. Here.
It's a bird. This is really cool. Oh, there's a QR code. I bet that's the person who made it.
What?
Oh, there's a QR code in here. I bet it's to the person who made it.
Nice.
Check bugs.
I don't know what that was.
Tree. Tree.
That is the fish throwing. And then as our exploring came to an end, I accidentally found a quest item, so a few quest items. I was like, whoops, we're not supposed to find that till later, and I don't even know what it is. And then after a walk around, there was lunch, dinner, I can't exactly remember, but it was a meal. And then we had lunch, and then they let us know about the situation happening in Frozen Coast.
As you may have heard, there's been a great invasion. We've faced these foes before, but now looms above our very coast, and we must fight back the scourge and face one of our most fiercest foes yet, a mind flayer. But first, we must stop the infection from spreading. Tadpoles have been found and infecting people and connecting them to this hive mind entity that's invading. We need to gather up tadpoles, any way we find, and try to dispose of them. To that, I'll defer you to our lead researcher on this matter and first responder on the scene, ᵐᵉᵉ.
How do we know Kaju is infected with Tadpole?
So
He's been
tadpoles. When it comes to the tadpoles, they are very influential on everyone's psyche and their minds. If you find them and you collect them, I suggest you come to me, and I will help you. I'll help you test your own power of your mind to see if you have what it takes to overcome these tadpoles. We all suggest here in Frozen Coast the best way to go about these is to grow your strength, overcome the challenge, and destroy them at a cost. We will likely pay anyone who destroys them for us, though I would be careful about their influence.
What's the cost?
The bounty on these tadpoles? Is that what you're seeking?
$350.
We find it's quite perilous to carry more than one of these tadpoles on your person at a time, so try to limit yourself to one tadpole at a time to not immediately be overwhelmed.
We also would like to address any rumors that have been spreading lately. Some of them, although they may be true, others we think could be the influence of these mind-invading creatures. So make sure to discuss with your fellow adventurers to make sure that you guys are all on the same track, but I feel like some of them might see through the cracks and might get the wrong ideas.
Let's always keep your wits about you with this foe.
With that, I wish you guys the best of luck on your travels and stay safe. Keep your blades sharp, yet your minds sharper.
I can handle the blades part, but I don't know about the minds.
Well, thank you, denizens of Northreach. Let's go forth and repel this threat. For Northreach!
We actually ended up getting a rumor that what Kaju was talking about earlier, and it was that Kaju loves sunflowers, so not too bad of a rumor. Then went around to go ask for more information in character.
Yep. Trying to fix the chainmail is more like it. I put it on once, and for some reason it split up along the side right there.
Oh.
So I took the sleeve, and I'm using that to make it a little bit wider. So, making sure it's all lined up correctly.
Does armor help in the battle against mind flayers?
This is the armor of the body, which they can affect, but you also need armor of the mind.
Interesting.
And that is not me trying to signal or anything, that's just something getting in my eye. I swear.
It can be both.
It can be both. That was a really nasty piece of dirt.
I know.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see you around here. Oh, Kaju. Oh, so about these tadpoles, I read a little bit about these mind flayers before in books.
Right.
These tadpoles. What do they look like exactly?
You know, like squid?
Little
Little
squids?
squid?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little squid. Unfortunately, the worst thing about these little tadpoles is they're quite cute. Not gonna lie. They're a little tiny. They got small little beady eyes. And you know, with most of people's attractions to little stuffed animals, they kind of give off the same appeal. Which I say unfortunately because don't take that lightly.
Okay.
I hope that you heard it well during the ceremony. Sorry, my brain's been a little foggy. I did a lot of stuff before the event, so I've been struggling to keep up with all the info. I lost a lot of pages in my books, and my stuff's been in disarray, so I'm just looking for some help here and there. But one of the big things was the little tadpoles. Do not carry more than one of them on your person. If you find one, that is very, very harmful to the body and spirit. So if you do find one, either hang on to it and do not pick up another. It's still fine to scout them out. But if you get one, come to me over at my booth while I'm there, and I will help challenge your willpower, and we can make sure that your mind is strong enough to overtake them.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. I'll have to read a little bit more.
And then after we had some food and finding out that there is a invasion of mind flayers and there's tadpoles everywhere that can affect you, there was the first battle game.
Sir Monarch, can I use this as an anti-power artifact for the battle game?
Fire.
It's just a red and black sword. A big fire. If not, you can go.
Listen up, we are playing Tug of War. Just a little twist on this game. There's a wall down the middle, creating 2 lanes on this battlefield. The points you need to capture in order alternate from each side of the wall. We require 2 free hands. Capture count 1 through 10 to capture the points. And once you get all the way to your opponent's end, you score a point for your team.
Extension. Hatter. Dash out the right leg. Dash out the right leg. Dash out the right leg. Almost went through my head. That was a nice throw. Sign of deflection. Sign of deflection.
Then after the battle game, hung out a little bit more, and then it was time for bed, and then we woke up, and it was day 2. And so the morning came around. It was so nice. Wake up in my tent. It was actually pretty hot though, and dry. Right now, currently in Alaska, it's like very, very hot and dry summer, like currently. And so my tent, it was like, oh, it's so dry. But I could hear the birds, and so at least that was nice. And so I woke up, and then everybody else woke up, and we had breakfast. And then after we had breakfast, we met up with the raiding party, which consists of Gothiccs, Oz, Gothic, Pockets, but Pockets didn't end up joining us at any. Didn't end up joining us this time because he was running his little shop. And then me, Dan, and then we started as a raiding party discussing the quest and what we plan on, our game plan for the quest.
No.
We're gonna laugh and we're gonna go circle of protection, circle of protection, circle of protection. I don't trust anybody. I don't care.
We're not even questing yet.
Yeah.
I don't trust it.
Yeah, there's some rumors been spreading around.
Yeah.
About?
We cannot trust Hatter. And to make sure you're watching your words when speaking to a shopkeep, as rumor is they deal in the Fae, and you don't want to accidentally lose your name.
I got a rumor that Kaju likes sunflowers.
With
Sweet.
Pockets working the booth, we could split this into 2 3-person teams and just stay close. Effectively a single 6-person team. Dan and I are the heaviest melee of the group. We got 3 people running bows, and then we got a healer.
Technically, it's not questing. I just don't trust it.
No, we can't eat them.
Why not? You can eat anything once.
Yeah.
At least.
It sounds.
They'll be coming to a mind flare.
I think about eating that, and it
Gothic's
makes my
strong
teeth
enough.
hurt.
If we
Like the
eat
texture,
them, let me
it's too, like-
prepare them.
soft
Forced.
video. Like,
But
You ready
they're
for
so
free psychic
cute.
damage? Do you want to go and
You three, us three.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Right.
I'll miss you.
Someone
sad.
quantify for me. What is what?
You, Oz, Ansel,
hey.
And then
strike team. Me and these two, strike team.
Okay.
Working together in concert, but separate on separate teams.
You don't get a name.
Oh, yeah.
what?
Elena doesn't get a name.
Standing next to a
apparently.
Faye thing, I don't want to give the Faye thing Elena's name on
Yeah, we
accident.
should probably
Thing.
not refer to each other as.
Aren't you
No, I
the
have
Pokemon?
I have upgraded
I
to
don't-
Eldritch Horror.
You wouldn't steal my name, would you?
It's Eldritch Horror and a Faye thing.
Spends you up.
How much you
Want to
got?
buy a sundial?
You want to buy a sun?
After a little bit of discussion, I went to go grab my quiver with my arrows because I'm an archer in Amtgard, and so I put it on, and then I kind of went back because I already kind of knew where the tadpoles were because I accidentally found them early, too early, and so I was looking. I'm like, oh man, everybody kind of already found them the night before, but then I ended up finding one, which I'll show you. It is being contained in this container. This is, there is not mugs this year. There are these containers that have Frozen Odyssey, the invasion, for the Amtgard event. They were selling this year, and we take him out of containment. This is the little guy. Look at him. Like, how am I supposed to turn these little guys in when he look like this? Look at him. I'm sorry, you're very cute, but back into containment you go. And so I ended up having a tadpole on me. And then we had lunch, and then questing started. It was officially started. And not even a moment after we got out, we're in the character mode. All of us are just, are feeling our character and just getting ready to be our characters. A guy named Aldrich, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name, attacks some random peasants that were walking around and just attacks them and rips off one of their arms. So I'm following Oz and Dan over, and I'm like ready with my bow, and we walk over and they're all just like, flustered of these peasants are flustered of the situation at hand and stuff, and they're like, oh, this and this and this and this and stuff, and I was like, okay, what happened? What? Yeah, in a kind of softer tone, and was like, what happened? Like, what is going on? They were like, this guy just came over and he just attacked us and he took my arm, and he has his arm kind of behind his back to represent that his arm's gone, and so then Oz, being a healer, goes, okay, and he's like, the white light of healing, Swift, the white light of healing has healed thee. And so he heals the peasant, and we're like, okay, what happened? And then they all start talking about, so I'm like, wait, one at a time, wait, one at a time. And so then they let us know that they had taken a sunflower from a fae to give to Kaju, which Kaju is one of the members of Frozen Coast, and he's the runner of the questing for this event this year, and he's also playing his character as an NPC. We were like, why would you steal from the fae? That is like the #1 rule, is don't steal from the fae, and rule #2 is don't give them their name. No, your name. They know their own name, just don't give them yours. And we're like, okay, yeah. And then after that, we spotted Aldrich, and we started heading towards him, and Oz just starts scolding him in character and was like, you see what you've done? Like, you know what? And Oz arrests the man and brings him back to the tavern. And then after that, we, since some of us had already found some tadpoles, like the night before, we were in line to speak with Kaju, so then we could turn in our tadpoles and see what the next step was, because having a tadpole in your hand, or you know, it is connected to you. If you've ever played Baldur's Gate 3, then you'll know what I'm talking about. And so, as we're kind of just standing there waiting in line, ᵄᵉᵉ apparently gets a blood oath or something. He's like, I just got a blood oath. And he just starts walking away, and in character I'm like, oh, a blood oath? A blood oath? And he just starts walking over towards Uldric, and we're like, and Uldric's questing party, and we're like, oh. And then Oz just goes, Bun, go head over, go over with Gothic. And then I head over with Gothic, and we kind of are walking from side, because on the side there's, because this is on like a fairgrounds, the Kenai area fairgrounds, and so there's like a ring for like rodeos and stuff, and so they walk into the ring, and me playing Elena is like, I can't watch. I can't watch the murder. And then they ended up, I think they ended up killing Uldric and then bringing him back to the tavern. But then after that, we stood in line to talk with Kaju, and it was my turn to come up. And right next to me was Oz, and behind me was ᵄᵉᵉ. Because the reason actually ᵄᵉᵉ was behind me was because there was, I think it was an assassin. Someone was playing the assassin class was behind us, and it was Ansel that was like, hey, this person looks like, you know, they looked like they were trying to stab you, to ᵄᵉᵉ, and he was like, okay, and he turned to me and was like, are you turning in a tadpole? And I was like, yeah. And then, so he's like, okay, stand in front of me. So he was like, I'm gonna protect you. There's an assassin behind us. And I don't want you getting killed. And so I stand in front of him, and then we get up to Kaju. In Kaju's fake British accent, he's like, Elena, Oz, welcome, what can I do for you? And I'm like, well, and I reach into my belt pouch, and I pull out the tadpole. And he's like, oh, I see. He goes on to tell us that there is a way to take over the tadpole's mind, so then we can figure out like what the next step will be, so then the tadpole isn't controlling our minds, because once you find a tadpole, your mind is linked with the tadpole. And so he explains to us that by doing a test, we can see if our mind is stronger to take over the tadpole's mind. And so, and he was like, so, do you think you can do it? I was like, and then Oz is like, don't let me do it, I'm stupid. And so, I was like, I'll do it. And so, I forget what it was a riddle. I forget what the riddle was. And so I looked over to Oz, and I looked over to ᵄᵉᵉ, and then back at Oz, and Oz kind of comes over to my ear and is like, the answer's rust. The answer's rust. And I was like, okay, and I looked to him, and then I looked back to ᵄᵉᵉ, and then I looked back to Kaju, and I was like, rust. He's like, is that your final answer? I said, yes. And he was like, that's correct. You have now taken over the tadpole's mind. And he's like, if I could take you over this way, this part is a little more private. And so I walk with Kaju off to the side from his little booth. And he's like, so, now that you have controlled the mind of the tadpole, there are two options. One, you can either kill the tadpole and stop the infection of the mind flayers, or you can consume the tadpole and accept its power and its knowledge. You want the red pill or the blue pill? That's basically what just happened. But me being Elena, so Elena Hammerfrost-Ferngrove, which is my Amtgard character, she cares for magical creatures. And so she, no matter like if they're evil or not, she's always like, there must be another way. You know, like if they are evil or dangerous, there must be another way to study them and to see a way around that. And so I was like, it's like, there has to be another way. Like this can't just be the two options. And he's like, yeah, he's like, sadly, you know, these are the only options. And I'm like, you know, I care for magical creatures, and you know, I have my friend Lucky here, which in Lucky is actually a bowtruckle. and I was like, I want to, you know, take it and study it, you know. And you know, he's like, and he was saying like how he was he's a researcher, and that's how he got to this point. And he just, you know, and so I just was at this decision, you know, me being deep in my character at this point, and deep in the roleplay moment. You know, I'm just holding this creature, this tadpole, and I'm looking down at the tadpole, and I'm like, I think it needs to perish. And he said, all right, and you can destroy it. And I was like, how? It's like, well, squish it, stomp it, hit it, whatever you need to do. So while holding the tadpole, with much hesitation, I just go, and I squish it. And I release it, and I give it the dead tadpole to Kaju, and then I walk away. And at that point, me being a character as Elena, she's like so sad because that goes all against like her morals as well, and just I'm not explaining it too well as the moment, but just it was such a great roleplay moment that apparently I found out later that I almost made Kaju cry, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you almost cry. And he was like, well, you looked like you were about to cry. And I'm like, well, I'm glad my acting was just that good, that it was so convincing. And so, and then a little after that, kind of just walking around, I went with Ansel. Ansel was like, can you help me? I'm trying to find like a clue. And so I was like, okay. And she said like, oh, it's like in, the clue is like in some brush and stuff. So I'm like, okay, we started looking in the brush, and I'm like, there was a blacksmith that I saw around the corner. And I was like, I wonder if the blacksmith knows about this clue. And so we're like, yeah. And then we ended up going like back in line, and well, not back in line, but just kind of in that general area. And then I was like, kind of, you know, looked back at some of the members, but we kind of just ended up splitting up, honestly. We kind of ended up doing our own thing. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the blacksmith. So I hopped over to where the blacksmith was, and when I got over there, Gothic was standing, and then Dan was on the ground. And I was like, what happened? And they're like, I don't know what it was just out of nowhere. There was just an explosion. And I'm like, an explosion? And they were like, yeah. And so, and Dan was like, yeah, I ended up dragging Gothic over and healing them. And I was like, oh my gosh, there was an explosion. And I'm like, oh man, I'm glad you're all right, Gothic, you know, and I'm glad you're all right, Dan, you know, like, that's pretty strange. And so I kind of look over towards the blacksmith, and then I head over to the blacksmith, and there's some people over there, and when I'm over there kind of just waiting, you know, when I'm able to, my turn to speak to the blacksmith, which actually the blacksmith was played by Boromir, which is which is the champion of Frozen Coast. And these two guys that were already talking to the blacksmith turned to me and were like, at first it sounded like they said, are you a dead mosquito? And I'm like, what? They're like, we need a dead mosquito. We conversed with some fae and they're asking for a dead mosquito. And I'm like, no. the two guys walked off. I ended up talking to the blacksmith, and I was like, hey, there was an explosion here. Like, you know, and he's like, yeah, I don't really know what happened. You know, it just all happened so sudden. You know, there was a big boom, and then there was kind of some scurrying in the bushes. I'm like, huh, okay, scurrying in the bushes. And I'm thinking it's probably like a tadpole or something, you know, like another little tadpole. I was like, okay, and then I kind of was ready to start walking off, but then he was like, hey, can you do a favor for me? And I was like, sure, I can do a favor. And he was like, so, and he grabs on the table because the blacksmith, Bromir, he was working on some chainmail, and he picks up this like square piece of metal with a square hole in the middle. And he's like, this is Frocoian, Frocoian, I think that's how you pronounce it, steel. And I need more of this. He said, yeah, I need more of this, and I had it, but then there was an explosion, and it just spread the rest of them everywhere. If we can get this, they say that this type of steel can ward off mind flares. I'm like, okay. So I was like, thank you. Yeah, I will keep an eye out. And so, headed off from the blacksmith. And after talking to the blacksmith, me and my raiding party, we were just so tired. Oh, and it was so hot too. It was so hot, and so we ended up going inside to just back to the tavern inside, and we just we sat down and just, it was so hot, and we were just taking a break. And we kind of didn't really continue questing after that. We were so tired, and also just really hot. After the questing bit was over, I believe there was lunch, and then there was another battle game.
So, these mind flayer tadpoles have to come from somewhere. And I'm betting somebody amongst you has that knowledge. They might have a clue that might lead to another clue, which will lead to another clue. And I can repeat that ad infinitum, but I won't, because we have a timetable. What we're gonna do, we're gonna split it into two. So how the game is, you're gonna kill somebody, you're gonna remain where you are for 10 seconds if you die. You can get revived, potentially. But then the opposing team will drag you back to their respawn, or that node, and do an capturing 1 through 10. And they get a point. One of you will have a clue. I will disperse it at random, and if you get interrogated, it'll count as an additional point, and it will be returned back to me. In regards to searching for clues, leave no stone unturned. And mind flayer tadpoles are still a thing. We're looking for the source. These clues should help us get there. We're going to be playing a 30-minute battle game. Refresh at 15. Respawn, because I see a lot more people here. We're going to go for the full 60.
Weapons ready. So I'm just to make this item whole again. Status.
Incoming in!
Woo! Shield destroyed. Frozen. Got it. Frozen.
Still got my leg.
Okay.
Wait. One on both legs, one on torso, none on torso. Makes it a hole again, makes it a hole again, makes it a hole again, makes it a hole again. One on torso. Weapon destroyed, makes it a hole again, makes it a hole again, makes it a hole again.
Where's the light like I'm healing? Just resurrected me.
Thank you. Oh, dead.
No, my son. Armor's gone right arm, armor's gone left arm. Point, arm's gone. Dead. That power shell remains, that power shell remains.
Okay, good.
Golem, imbue weapon.
Ice ball.
Point.
Oh, that's
Finish off.
Oh, that's huge. That is so. Catching 1, catching 2, catching 3, catching 4, catching 5, catching 6, catching 7, catching 8, catching 9, catching 10.
Wait, capturing means you're go to the brow. Spiritually. Wait.
Oh, should I have
Pressure. Resistance. Let him by gun. Stop.
Then soon we got all ready for the boss battle. For the Mind Flayer ship has landed, and we are going to fight the Mind Flayer.
I thank you all for coming forward and helping in the defense of the Frozen Coast and the lands beyond, because this threat would surely spread if left unchecked. You have crafted, through your efforts, an item to aid in the slaying. This will be used to strike down the lashing tendrils of the Eldrick abomination. Vibes, come forward.
Nothing.
Wisely. It no longer has the power to kill. It just has the power to stun. It no longer has fear of annihilation. It just has force bolts. Tadpole's being destroyed as weakened and crazy. Come with me.
All good. I need far away. You ate the baby. I did.
These people
Oh,
ate
man.
tadpoles, tadpoles.
Yeah, that's fair. That's alright, though.
This is all the Mind Flayer infected people.
Various war crimes!
And then after defeating, after the band of Northreachians defeated the Mind Flayer, then it was time for court.
Our characters didn't want to die.
You guys have that existential crisis.
I mean, that's the ultimate. And I ripped
I don't believe that.
I was about to say.
But not the
Don't
pants.
waste it over your face.
Everyone!
Huh?
Thank you
Listen
for joining
up!
us at Frozen Odyssey. I appreciate all of your efforts in this questing weekend and your participation in slaying the Mind Flayer threat.
How do I unjoin?
How do you unjoin? I guess you leave.
Yeah, walk out right now. Go.
I appreciate you all coming and enjoying questing weekend with us. As is new tradition with the Frozen Odyssey, we have some silly awards that we'd like to give out in recognition of people's efforts in the questing and all the cool things that they did and their role play and everything. So I'm going to defer to Kaju.
Every last Frozen Odyssey was my first ever one, and now I'm here running the questing. It was a big part of me getting into Amtgard overall to receive these funny awards, and it crafted my character as a whole. Because of that, I have a belt that says Mastermind, a title I got last year, and so I'm hoping that some of these can be just as fun for the rest of you as they were for me. So, first up, for being the first to arrive on the grounds, Bradius is awarded first through the gate.
Yeah.
For hiding their infection under a hat, we have Hatter being awarded Silent Infection.
There's a reason no one plays Among Us but me.
For having the gall to steal from a fae, Monkey, Dave Smith, and Cybon are being awarded Fae Trap. Monkey, Dave. For passing their sleight of hand check on the dagger shenanigans, Monkey is awarded Not Today.
What is
For spinning the population a little bit, Aldrich and Derek are awarded Pleasant Hunting. Pleasant Hunting.
I don't think I deserve to get up at all for this. No.
Yeah, deserved. Real shame. Real shame.
For being falsely imprisoned, not so sneaky assassin.
Get wrecked, nerd.
You're the one that imprisoned me, falsely.
Yeah, get wrecked.
For attempting to steal the name of a fae, Cybon is being awarded Name Stealer. For bone combustion, Drasic is being awarded the Broken.
Oh.
Damn!
Walk up there too.
This is going in the orc.
For finding the brine pool, Lappin is being awarded Gone Swimming. As well as Howder.
Yeah, they do.
And Gothic. Some of them I knew were multiples. And Dan. Where's Dan?
Hi!
Dan, can we have one? For brewing all of our potions, Helenia is being awarded Potions Master. For going about protecting Froko in such ways. For the most slain tadpoles, we give Crimson Tarius the title of Slayer.
You killed children.
And in opposition, for consuming the most tadpoles, we give Monkey Patient 0. For their quick wit and their cunning, I'd like to reward Pockets with Riddle Master. I can tell you guys are all well fed. So, for feeding the masses, we award Arthas with the Provider of Noms. For dying in the line of duty, we pay our respects to Kami, Devotion to the Cause. May he rest in peace. In a wonderful display of character, and for weighing the burdens of fate and morals, Elena is being granted the Sympathetic to Evil. For distributing power and sowing destruction amongst us all, Lordy Gothic is being granted Chaotic Neutral. For dealing a grievous wound to the Mind Flayer, Dan is awarded first blood. And in tandem to that, for slaying the Mind Flayer, Scrimgar is being granted strongest mind. For wielding the aberration slaying sword that was crafted throughout the event, Vibes is being granted Breaker of Chains. As a new player and a friend of mine that we have dragged to this event, and for embracing the nerdum, Dave Smith is being awarded Roped In.
Correct, nerd.
For thunking the big brain, Crimson Darius is granted Brain Freeze.
And for running the questing and causing the mayhem, Kaju is awarded the Wise and Mischievous.
I thank all of you, and I'm going to pass it off to my Dawn at 11.
The awards, the fun, and the silly titles. We also have some time to recognize some of the great people of Frozen Coast, and we will be sending some things definitely down to Hazel to see for all of the shenanigans y'all have been up to.
I don't know if it was bad.
Kaju. Do the thing. Or your excellent portrayal of your character, who is also you, but is also your character, and also the very silly NPC, and your devotion to that. Your third Order of the Facade. Or both your dedication to Parking Kingdom, but also just helping out with the park and events outside of here and during this event. Kaju, I give you your third Order of the Rose. Running across this entire thing, running basically at like a whole big chunk of that quest by yourself, and being perpetually swamped with questions and having to give just about everybody under the sun riddles that we all probably failed. But everyone here can probably agree, you are very much a servant of the thing, in and out of office. Your fourth Order of the Rose. Guards, get him!
Sure.
Huzzah!
Get over here, buddy!
Huzzah!
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 Never seen again.
Yeah.
I mean,
Zora, this is the second one of these Frozen Odysseys that you've just been stuck at the vendor table while being an NPC, while running the shops and helping a whole on the back, including trying to connect this more and more with Mora to keep this amazing site. But your service outside of office has been no short of invaluable. I award you your sixth Order of the Rose. I do ask my the local regions from every part of the country to tell me what people are making, and it still sounds like you're still continuously making a bunch of garb constantly forever. Yeah, that's
What's that?
and for this, because I could name a bunch of things, but it takes a minute. So instead, here's your sixth Order of the Garber. Okay, you three. Oh here.
The Peasant Trio.
The peasants.
When anything happens, it's always you three.
The Peasant Trio made up a peasant and
In one way, stage, or form, newer players, because you've been about a minute. But, like, the amount of effort y'all have been putting in during this event, especially you're brand new, no idea what was getting into, and shenanigans. You three were a beacon of light and shenaniganery during this entire event, and I've gotten more than one person who just absolutely loved everything y'all were doing. I'll go individual. It's called Dave Smith, the man with the strangest name in all of the kingdom. For your portrayal of the silliest peasant alive, or one of the silliest peasants alive, your first Order of the Facade. At some point, this is one that all three of you will be getting. Similarly, like you all were just conscripted into basically being nuisances to the realm, which was both very funny, but also very appreciated in making the experience even better. Here's your first Order of the Rose.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
No. Okay. Similarly, for being conscripted into service accidentally, even being completely broke with no gold. Your first Order of the Rose. Zyvon, for being one of the Peasants 3, your first Order of the Facade. Monkey, this one is individual to yourself. You were making a whole lot of spell strips we got here in preparation for this and probably a whole lot of other shenanigans. But still a frankly ridiculous amount. Why'd you make 30?
30?
Only 30?
Yeah.
It's a rookie number.
I have a lot of
Just
photos.
a fat quarter. They make 10 each. Like, no.
But that's definitely more than enough for your first dragon.
Yeah.
Very silly hat. You make that silly hat. It's a very silly hat.
Very nice, silly hat.
In the hopes that you make more silly hats in the future. Your first Order of the Garber. From what I hear, they're making a whole lot of fun weapons, continuously, again and again and again, and they progressively get better. And I love to hear that. And in service of pushing you to make more, your third Order of the Owl. Monkey, again, one of the Peasants 3. Y'all were a joy. Love y'all having y'all out. Your first Order of the Facade. You are all free now.
Hip hip!
Huzzah!
Hip hip!
Huzzah!
Hip hip!
Huzzah!
We got one more thing. Peasants,
Hey,
get back up here.
Oh,
Alright.
Somebody
K-Champ could also
the knife.
give awards. So after watching your battlefield prowess during the battle game stage during the questing today, I've spoken with the king and he's given me the okay. That's the Kapora. You do all your next orders of battle. So this will be first order of battle for Dave Smith, be the second order of battle for ᵐᵉ, and then the third order of battle for Monkey. For battlefield effectiveness today.
drop the bagel.
No, drop the bagel.
For your continued service as Proco's Monarch. You're truly a champion of what's called reasonable office. Your sixth Order of the Crown.
Straight out.
Are this.
Pardon?
Your dedication, your devotion, all of the work you put into Frozen Coast. You are truly a paragon of service outside of office, in office, in just about any way. And both me, Oberon, and everyone in this park can agree, you are truly one of the best servants we have. You really do just about everything you can for everyone here to keep Robo alive. I am very happy to be able to present you with your 10th Order of the Rose.
Let's
Just about a leather hat.
That is actually such a good looking hat.
Let's go!
Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah! Hip hip! Huzzah!
Now I ban myself.
And then after court, Gothic is actually a trained professional in like fire type like tricks and shows and stuff. And so we got to watch her do fire stuff. And warning, please do not try this at home. This is a trained professional.
So it's just eating peanuts.
Teppanyaki!
No.
My head's on fire.
His head's on fire.
No.
What? Where?
You guys ready for a treat?
You guys get treats.
You're gonna get sick.
Oh
stay flaming. Woo! The best in the hat. I'm the different.
Power intensifies.
And then we went to bed. And so yeah, and then day 3 was just packing up, we had breakfast, and we headed out. After getting packed up and stuff, we went to go get lunch as a raiding party, and so we ended up getting lunch, and then after that we headed home. There was a little bit of shenanigans on the way home, but we are starting to run out of time for this video, and if you want to see some of the shenanigans on the trip back home, there will be a blooper / funny moments from the trip coming out here soon, or if you are turning back or watching this video here in the future, it will pop up like somewhere on the screen here. And so yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun going to this event, and thank you so much to everybody who put on this event. It was a lot of fun, and so hope you've enjoyed this video, and remember, God loves you, I love you, and you are somebody in this big wide world. Alright, see you guys next time.